distinguished members of the press, distinguished citizens, it is my particular honor and pleasure that today we had the opportunity to welcome the High Representative of the EU for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Madam Kaje Kalas, who together with the President of the Government will have a joint press conference. Immediately afterwards, we will hear from you in the questions in the designated format. Madam Kalas.
Prime Minister, dear people of North Macedonia, thank you for the warm welcome here. It's my first time in North Macedonia. It's good to be in Skopje. We just had a meeting on a broad range of topics. The European Union stands firmly with North Macedonia on your path to the European Union. North Macedonia is the first beneficiary in the region of the growth plan for the Western Balkans, and as you were just describing how well your economy is doing, I think we also benefit from that. And the first country in the region to sign a security and defence partnership with the European Union. This partnership boosts joint work on Ukraine, hybrid threats and counter-terrorism. And it shows that gradual integration is working in practice. But we both want more. That is very clear. North Macedonia belongs to the European Union. You have a strong track record of aligning with European common security and foreign policy. And this is very important to us, especially in these very turbulent times that we see major geopolitical shifts happening in the world. And your contribution to the EU for Altea in Bosnia and Herzegovina is a clear example that you are a reliable partner for the regional security. And I commend your strong efforts made by North Macedonia and your government on your reform agenda. But you know better than anybody that the road to membership is not easy. So my message today is to stay on the course and to take next steps necessary towards the opening of the negotiations. It will also mean that the European Union will give North Macedonia even more support, be it in strengthening the rule of law, fighting corruption, or modernizing North Macedonia's public administration. We know from experience that the progress can be fast if there is political will. Albania, Montenegro are good examples of this. And North Macedonia faces era-defining choices for its citizens and its future. We believe that the integration of the Western Balkans into the European Union is the best recipe for peace and security also in the whole region. So let us move together forward, and I assure you that the European Union stands firmly by your side. So once again, dear Prime Minister, thank you for hosting me here today.
Thank you for your address, Madam Kalas. Prime Minister, distinguished Madam Kalas, distinguished members of the press, dear friends, allow me in the very beginning to express my appreciation for the visit paid by Madam Kaje Kalas, High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. Her presence here in Skopje is a significant message that the European Union does not forget this region and that there is a legitimate interest for our developments and efforts. We spoke openly as it suits partners who are striving towards shared future. We discussed about the path towards the European Union, a path which was neither easy or short one, and it wasn't always just. It is a path with challenges, compromises, and waiting for too long. Our determination remains clear. We belong to the European Union, not because someone owes that to us, but because for decades we have been building a democracy and society of democratic values, rule of law, and good neighborhood relations. Because we're investing, we're sacrificing, and we're changing, hoping that the efforts will be recognized. However, this determination must be returned. We expect clearer confirmation from the Union itself, because we will agree not all member states have always been acting in the European spirit. Dear friends, today in our talks, I asked fair treatment. I asked for consistency, for Europe to show leadership which will bring something valuable for the citizens. To restore the trust in the European idea, especially among the young people. I've been speaking about this not only as a politician, but also as a professor, someone who has been working with young people. Let's show that the European Union is not closed, but is a clear vision for all of us. It is a community of values, open for those who live those values. Today, not only we spoke about reforms, but we are living these reforms. And we're not doing this to receive the commendations, but because we believe that this is the real way. We believe in the European dream, but we want this dream to be available for everyone. That is why I welcome today's inauguration of the first dialogue for security and defense. This is not only a symbol, but it is a signal that we're moving in the same direction. The cooperation with the Balkan Medical Task Force and the support we receive in defense, health and youth policies are also steps which are of immense importance for us. Despite all challenges, I believe that the future is on our side. I believe in our citizens. I believe in their decisiveness, patience and maturity. I also believe in the vision of the European Union as a community that values principles, does not forget the contribution, and knows when it is high time to do the right step. Our hand is given for friendship, cooperation and partnership, but we will remain dignified with a clear message. We are ready. Europe can count on us. And now it is time for us to start counting on Europe. Let this meeting be another bridge of trust, understanding and mutual future. Thank you. Thank you, President. Now we will take the questions from the press. Luca. Good day, Luca Andreev, TV21. I have a question to High Representative Kalas. The Macedonian government and Prime Minister yesterday said that they believe that the EU will find mechanisms to deblock our Euro integrative process. What are the mechanisms of Brussels for final deblocking of this process? And another question arising from your speech. How much can non-integrated Western Balkan be a threat, a security threat?
Thank you for your question. So first, it is clear that we want North Macedonia to really move on this path. And so we know that there are obstacles on the way. And we were discussing those as well to find really mechanisms to overcome these obstacles. So, of course, Prime Minister can explain his ideas better, but I think there is definitely room where we can operate. I wouldn't go into details. If we move on, then of course we will let also the press know. And what comes to the non-integration of Western Balkans, how big threat it is, then I think if we look at the big picture, the world, then we clearly see this different big powers shifting and tectonic shifts. So it is in our interest, if we look at the map, because Western Balkans are in Europe, that we are all fully integrated, because European Union is a peace project, and that is also makes it possible to bring the tensions down in the Western Balkan regions. I think it is definitely a security issue as well. Thank you.
Lepa. Good day, Lepa Jundava, TV24. Question for the Prime Minister. President Siljanovska a few days ago announced some talks with President Radev with the assistance of the President of the European Council, Costa. Do you plan as a government to join these talks? Did you discuss something with the President Siljanovska? Do you plan on initiating some meetings with the Bulgarian government? And another question about the mechanisms. Could you share some more details on that? Today we opened this topic as well with Madam Kaje Kalas. This topic started since the meeting and the visit when President Costa visited Macedonia during the Hague summit of NATO to have a meeting, bilateral meeting between the representatives from Macedonia and Bulgaria, because our president will be there, and that would be a great opportunity to hold a bilateral meeting attended by the President of the European Commission, as well, Madam von der Leyen, the President of the European Council, Mr. Antonio Costa, and, of course, the High Representative on Madam Kalas. We expanded this composition with the Secretary General of NATO and NATO's member state, such as the United States of America, so that we can share our arguments on this bilateral meeting. Because on one part we have one argument, on the other part we have other arguments, and we will all sit on a table and we can discuss. We accepted this. I don't know what the response from Bulgaria will be. We accepted this and we discussed this today with Madam Kalas, and we absolutely confirmed our determination to remain on this view and idea. We discussed with Madam Siljanovska. We will get ready the best we can. And I think that it would be good to have such a meeting, because we'll be able to share the arguments, especially on the margins of the NATO summit, because the previous question your colleague asked was focused on the security in the region. Being a NATO member state, we are reflecting security. Madam Kalas talked about the Macedonian contribution in the regional security initiatives, such as Altea in Bosnia. And I should not repeat myself speaking about the support for Ukraine. We are one of the first 5 countries contributors to Ukraine, and will continue with our assistance. So we are a factor of stability, and we should behave like that in the region. That is why we should reflect stability. Unfortunately, there are some powers in the region who want to reflect instability. And that is why when we will share all arguments on a bilateral meeting, that would be very good. In the end of the day, we all need to sit down and hear what the other part has to say. Maybe they will share some arguments that we have not known before. For example, about 200,000 Macedonians in Bulgaria. Where did they disappear? Despina? Good day. My question is for Madam Kalas. Madam Kalas, 2 weeks ago, you personally, from Ukraine, announced that the European Union has a Plan B, even Plan C, for the European integration of Ukraine. Last week, President Costa also shared that the European Union, that the EU does not have a Plan B for Macedonia. Why?
It is also for the other cases that you referred. I mean, we are focusing on Plan A and trying to make the Plan A work. because when you are taking already plan B, then the plan A is out of the question. So being very cryptical here, but what I want to say is that we still have hope that the plan A works, and we are working for this, and if not, then we will move into next phase. Yes.
Благодарам.
Thank you, Alexandra. Good day, Alexandra Dukovska, freelance journalist. A question to Prime Minister Mickoskog. Will you accept mediation from any country? Several countries already offered their ambassadors here, offered their mediators with Bulgaria, so that we can overcome the obstacle, this dead end in the adoption of the constitutional amendments. And to ask my question, is there any work being done on the new definition of the constitutional amendments? Because what was agreed by the previous government, it lacked a few votes, so it is not in the game. Do we have some other parts of the preamble that are being written? What I can say about the previous government, they're at fault for us being in this situation. I would not say that several votes lacked, because it was never put to vote. We don't know how many votes were missing. So if we are pointing to someone to blame, then the then Prime Minister, Minister of Euro Integrations, and Minister of Foreign Affairs, they are the ones who led the situation as it is today. Otherwise, we're absolutely ready to talk, to have bilateral talks at the level of partnership relations within the NATO alliance. Anyone who wants to assist, we are ready to talk to them. We are ready to sit down and talk with anyone to accept certain mediation. If you heard my previous answer, I was very clear, very concise. No one should have any dilemmas. We want a solution, but solution that will be dignified and long-lasting. We are tired of continuous blockages referring to the bilateral issues. We want a solution that will be unique, continuous, and to let us complete our homework at home. So let's see who will be the frontrunner and who will not. Thank you for the questions. We are now closing the press conference.